You have mastered your child's external emotional crises. You have stabilized your own nervous system using the vagus nerve reset protocol. Yet for many parents, the single worst part of parenting isn't the meltdown that happens, but the agonizing dread of the one that is about to happen. This is the silent killer of parental joy, anticipatory anxiety. If you spend your quiet moments dreading the next argument, if you check the clock before the school pickup with a constant pit of fear in your stomach, or if you feel a surge of panic when you hear a certain tone of voice, you are not overwhelmed by reality. You are, in fact, under attack from your own mind. You are viewing your family life through 3 cognitive filters, deeply ingrained neurological habits that make patience impossible, drain your energy, and warp every challenge into an existential threat. These filters are formally known as cognitive distortions, predictable errors in thinking that corrupt your perception of risk and competence. They hold your system hostage, sabotaging your prefrontal cortex, PFC, the center of logic and planning. When the PFC is compromised by these distorted filters, you are forced to revert to a primitive, reactive, sympathetic state. This video will identify these 3 sabotage filters and, more importantly, give you the essential Cognitive Restructuring Protocol. 3 targeted, powerful questions designed to dismantle them immediately, restoring genuine, regulated peace and clarity to your mind. The Neurobiology of Anticipatory Dread. Let's ground this internal struggle in neurobiology. The amygdala, your brain's ancient threat detection center, operates entirely on prediction, not just objective reality. It lives by the motto, it is neurologically cheaper and safer to panic unnecessarily, a false positive, than to be genuinely unprepared for a real threat, a false negative. When you endure prolonged or intense stress, like frequent meltdowns or chronic disrespect, the amygdala immediately starts projecting that intense fear into the future. It creates these mental shortcuts, the filters, to simplify the chaotic world. But these shortcuts are always based on the worst-case scenario. When you allow one of these 3 mental filters to run unchecked, you flood your body with stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline before the crisis even begins. This preemptive stress response, this anticipatory dread, completely exhausts your nervous system. It destroys your capacity to be a neutral, regulated co-regulator, leaving you spent and reactive precisely when the real event finally occurs. You are running on empty before the race even starts. The solution, therefore, is not a vague notion of thinking positive, but a systematic, disciplined intervention. You must force your prefrontal cortex, PFC, the logical, wise, executive function part of your brain, to actively challenge the amygdala's distorted, fear-based data. This systematic questioning is the foundation of cognitive restructuring. Filter 1, Catastrophic Forecasting, the future fear trap. The filter. This is the neurological habit of immediately predicting the worst possible outcome from any neutral or slightly negative event. It is the immediate, overwhelming leap from a minor problem to an absolute disaster. Example A. Your child got a C on a single test. The filter screams, "He's going to fail this grade, ruin his GPA, drop out of college, and end up living in our basement forever, dependent on us." Example B. Your teenager is 15 minutes late coming home. The filter insists, "They've been in a severe car accident, and I'm going to get a call from the police." This instant, disproportionate jump to disaster causes instant, paralyzing panic, making it impossible to calmly assess the actual risk or address the minor problem at hand. The solution, the proportionality challenge. You must force your PFC to generate objective, proportional alternatives and focus on current, manageable steps. What is the most likely outcome based on past evidence and statistics? Not the worst, but the most probable reality. E.g., the most likely outcome is that he mismanaged his study time and needs help planning the next assignment. He is not currently failing the grade. If the worst truly happened, the fictional disaster, could I, the parent, assemble the resources to cope, This is a resilience check. The answer is always yes. This step brings control and agency back into the present moment. What is the next single smallest step I can take right now to address the immediate reality? This focuses action on the present, not the terrifying fictional future, e.g., I will calmly ask him how he feels about the grade and discuss a planning system. You defeat catastrophic forecasting by trading a fictional, overwhelming future for a rational, manageable present. Filter 2. Black and white thinking, the all-or-nothing trap. The filter. This filter, also known as binary thinking, allows for no middle ground, no nuance, and no shades of gray. Situations are either perfect successes or total failures. People are either saints or monsters. Example A. Your child yells at you after a long, stressful day. The filter instantly declares, I am a total, absolute failure as a parent. All my hard work is worthless. I have ruined this child and this family. Example B. You forgot to pack the school lunch one morning. The filter condemns, I am a neglectful, terrible mother-father. I can never do anything right. This rigid, binary thinking generates deep shame, intense guilt, and overwhelming self-criticism, leading either to an emotional shutdown, dorsal vagal, or a reactive explosion, sympathetic. It destroys your resilience by negating all previous successes. The solution: the gradient challenge. You force your mind to recognize the vast spectrum of reality, the reality of incremental progress and partial success. Where, on a measurable scale of 1 to 10, does this single event actually fall? You acknowledge that yelling is an issue, perhaps a 4-10 problem, but it is demonstrably not a 10-10 disaster that defines your life. Name 3 things that went right in the last 24 hours that contradict the total failure label. Force the brain to acknowledge undeniable evidence of competence and success, the quiet morning, the successful coordination of drop-offs, the completed homework, the moment of laughter. What is the percentage of success here? Even if 10% of the day was genuinely bad, 90% was acceptable or good. The brain requires the math of proportionality to counteract the feeling of total failure. You defeat black and white thinking by establishing proportional truth and recognizing the fundamental reality of continuous, messy human effort. Filter 3. Emotional reasoning. The feeling is fact trap. The filter. This is the most insidious and common filter. It dictates that because you feel something is true, it must be true, regardless of the evidence. Your emotion is mistaken for objective data. Example A. You feel overwhelmingly guilty and exhausted after a conversation with your child. The filter concludes, I feel like a bad parent, therefore I am a bad parent. My feelings are evidence of my inadequacy. Example B. You feel anxious when your child tries a new sport. The filter asserts, I feel like this is dangerous, therefore it is dangerous, and I must stop it. This filter traps you in negative emotional feedback loops as you constantly validate the feeling without checking the external facts. It is a powerful neurological loop of despair and unnecessary fear. The solution: the fact versus feeling challenge. You must learn the disciplined skill of separating your subjective internal experience from objective external reality. What is the verifiable fact, the objective event, that triggered this feeling? Fact: the child spilled milk and I was tired. Feeling: I feel immense frustration and disrespect. If a neutral observer with a video camera watched that event, what would they report? Observer: the child was clumsy. The parent reacted with a sigh. The mood was tense. The observer would not report, the parent is a failure. Can I accept the feeling without accepting the label that comes with it? Yes. I accept that I feel exhausted, but that feeling is not a fact that defines my core quality as a parent. You defeat emotional reasoning by rigorously proving that feelings are subjective experiences that require robust, factual evidence to be labeled as absolute truth. The power of cognitive restructuring. These 3 filters, Catastrophic forecasting, black and white thinking, and emotional reasoning are not personal failures. They are ingrained neurological habits designed by your ancient brain for quick, albeit highly inaccurate, self-protection. The Cognitive Restructuring Protocol gives you the necessary power to intercept these filters and force your logical brain, PFC, to generate accurate data, restoring calm. Mastering these filters is the highest form of parental self-regulation. It frees you from internal dread and allows you to greet your children and every challenge with genuine, proportionate, and regulated calm. You have learned to manage the external chaos and the internal stress. Now, there is only one piece of the puzzle missing: the deep connection. If your child feels consistently misunderstood, they will default to defiance and emotional chaos every single time, regardless of your calm. Click on the video on your screen now, where I reveal the 3 secret communication codes to instantly connect with a defiant child. A final essential guide to transform conflict into cooperative connection.